Welcome to the Stars and Gripes podcast, the podcast where age is just a number and laughter is timeless, with hosts Diane Piggott, Jesse Randall, and semi-recovering attorney Jim Gillis. Today we're diving into all hilarious moments of 50 and older.
Welcome to the Stars and Gripes podcast with Jim Gillis and Jesse Randall.
That'll be
I'm
me.
Diane Piggott, and today, this episode is going to be about men and women and some of their opinions on social behavior.
Just men and women.
Well, I don't have any experience. Is it in the other gender?
No, well, there are many genders now. That's all I'm pointing
I know
out.
there is, but I don't have any experience with that.
Okay.
Do you, Jesse? No comment?
No comment.
So we only talk about things we have experience with.
I would think so.
Okay.
All right.
It's your show.
All right.
Go for it.
What's a semi-recovering attorney, Jim?
You mean, am I a semi-recovering attorney?
I want to know the definition of that.
Well, I am one. Semi means I'm not quite done after 35 years of doing this. Recovering means because of the practice of law can be, especially litigation, I think, can be addictive.
Okay.
So instead of retiring, I say recovering. And of course, everyone knows old lawyers don't retire. They just lose their appeal.
Well, at what stage do you think you're at?
I think I've lost a lot of appeal.
Okay. Then also answer the other question that I've wanted to know is you now profess you're a celibate lesbian. What's the definition?
Stuck in a
of that?
man's body. That's correct.
Stuck in a man's body. Jesse, what do you think he means by that?
I have no idea. Because I know he's not celibate.
Well, I know that too.
Well, how do you know that?
Well,
You tell us.
He claims he's not celibate, so
Well, I am day to day.
day
Okay.
to day.
You know, it's another addiction type situation.
All right, moving on. Let's
Yeah.
talk about men and women.
Go ahead.
You know what I want to know from men? Tell me, how do you know a woman's in love with you? How do you know, Jim?
You never know.
Oh,
Even if they profess to be in love, you don't know.
There are statistics out there.
are there?
And what does love have to do with it anyway?
Well, to a woman, a lot. But you know, when a man is in love, a woman is in love, that she will mother you to death almost.
I think a woman singer was the one who said, "What's love got to do with it?"
What if
She
they,
got it a little wrong.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
So do they have to know how to cook to love a man?
Most of the time, they know how
I think
to
the
cook.
man has to know how to eat. Food. I'm talking about food.
Well, what else will we be talking about?
Well, that's, imaginations can go wild.
Do you know how a woman knows if a man's in love with her? Quit reading the
No,
paper.
I can't see that far, so
Okay.
you're in luck.
All right.
Buys her a house?
No.
But what's the question again?
How do women know when a man's in love with them?
He shows up on time.
He takes the garbage out.
He takes
Man.
the garbage out.
No.
He pays when you go out to eat.
He puts the toilet seat down
Oh, that's a big one there.
That's not.
and flushes the toilet.
No.
No.
We know when you prioritize us, when we're the most important thing in your life.
Yeah.
That's how we know.
Okay.
Really?
And through your body language.
Maybe that's why I'm single.
And when I say body language, I don't mean just everything is sexual. I mean, like when you walk into a place that could be dangerous, like a football game, to a woman, you stand next to that woman and guard her. And the stance in your body will show that.
So, kind of like crossing the street, you're always on the side where the traffic could hit you. Is that
Well, I don't see a lot of that today,
Yeah.
but
opening doors?
right.
Yeah, see, that's archaic.
It's not archaic.
I believe in women's lib.
We're not
They want
discussing.
equality.
But-
Women
but-
want equality. They should be equal.
No, but what we're discussing.
I'm waiting for one to open the door for me.
What we're discussing right now is how women know, not what you think, how women know. We also know when you ask our opinion about things, which I know as men get older, as they get older. Is that what you think with Kim? It's that you're just wrong one time?
Maybe we just want you to think we really don't know many things.
Yeah, I made a mistake once.
I wonder sometimes. I've been around you two a long time, and I wonder.
Well, that's all a facade, Diane. We actually do know everything. We just want you to believe that we have a few flaws. So we seem more human.
So what you're saying is men purposely mess up with women so we know that you have flaws. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I said.
That's what he's saying.
What are you saying?
I'm not listening.
Jesse doesn't have any flaws.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
What do y'all think women 20 to 30 are looking for?
I don't even...
I've been told it's security.
Yes, that's one thing.
I don't even think about women 20 to 30 except to visualize them, and that's about it.
But you're still thinking about them.
No idea what they want these days.
What they want.
I think it's probably age old. They want the things every woman wants.
I'll tell you why women 20 to 30 really like men 40 and above is security. That is a big one. And sexual experience.
Yes.
That's huge.
Security, sexual experience.
Sexual experience. And what's the last one, guys?
Money. I guess that's the security, yes.
No, that they're going to be better fathers at that age than they are in their 20s.
Yeah, that wouldn't be what I would want. And then
I
would make that very clear to a woman.
But that's not what we're discussing. What we're discussing today or right now,
what women want.
What women want. We're going to get to what men want. We pretty much know, but we're going to get there.
Sure.
Because that's important. Don't you think?
Sure.
To them.
Well, when I was in my early 40s and divorced, it seemed like several young women were attracted to me, 21 through 25.
Okay.
And I asked one why, and she gave me an example of having gone out on a date the week before with a young man, and they went to McDonald's or some fast food place, and he placed his order, paid for it, and stepped back so that she could place her order. Then they went to the theater. He did the same thing. Bought his ticket, stepped back, she bought her ticket. He didn't even open the door for her when they went in. So they went to the movie, they got out, they come back, I don't know where they were. Anyway, so he expected fellatio at the end of this situation.
After he did all that?
Yeah, which she politely declined, and I couldn't blame her. So anyway, that was her reasoning for liking older men, because they tended to be, not just because I paid for everything, because they were just gentlemen. Whereas these young kids today, weren't.
So a woman wants an older man because they're gentlemen.
Well, they're
That's one of the
gentlemen.
things.
They're sexually experienced. Okay. They're better fathers. Their stability. They pretty much at 40, they've reached that earning potential that women are attracted to.
So if women really want a man who's a gentleman, why do we have all this women's lib stuff and equality and all that stuff going on?
What percentage of women are really into that?
Not very many.
They just show them on TV all the time.
You got any proof of that?
That's media pushing the agenda.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So you think most women still want a gentleman?
Yes, and most women still want children, and most women still want a stable partner, and most women want good fathers.
Yeah.
They've literally pushed good fathers and good men out of the limelight. The media has. Can you disagree with that?
Maybe the younger ones do. The older ones, I wouldn't think, not so much. They don't want children once they're in their 40s. They're probably established one way or another financially by then. Good father is, maybe that's still important, that you're a good father to your own kids.
Right, but we're talking about what women want right now.
Yeah,
Right,
but they don't.
okay.
They want a good father means a father to your own kids at that point, not a good father like let's have a baby and you'll be a good father
Or a good stepfather.
or a good stepfather.
Well, that's the dating process. And that's why we go through that, is because we can just judge a man, which we do, by how they treat us and on whatever date they're on, how they treat the people they communicate with in the date.
That's right, how they interact.
There you go.
Treat servers nicely.
Yes, tip big.
Tip well, you know. Just the tip.
Well, so what do you think about women in their 40s that have been in a, say, 15-year marriage, right? Think about this. And all of a sudden, the husband drops down in his responsibility a little bit. Not in financially or being a father, but sexually.
What do I think about it?
Okay, so when a man does that, do you know what a woman starts thinking about?
That he's getting it somewhere else.
Pretty much. Do you?
Maybe that he's just declining in his abilities because of his age.
At 40?
Well, Jesse tells me he started at 35. Declining.
Why?
Not true.
Well, when men do that, women immediately start reminiscing about their 20s and who the stud was, and then they, therefore, start looking around at the male population between 20 and 25.
You know what they should be thinking
With
about?
abs, a chiseled face, strong arms.
You know what they really should be thinking about?
But we're talking about
Don't let me interrupt you.
Dad bods.
dad bobs are not when a woman's 40 and then the man in the marriage forgets how to take care of his wife or does that once a week or twice a month. Situational sex,
Duty.
whatever, then women are going to start looking at younger men, and therefore the man a lot of the times have already started having an affair, so the women, they're going to start looking for younger men. My question is, why do the men start an affair? In so many marriages, our divorce rate is skyrocketed, and not just like keep the spark between the wife that they married and promised to be married and celibate with, not celibate, but faithful with for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, so being a divorce lawyer,
I'm listening.
I do have an opinion on that. I see it quite often, long-term marriages. They start giving up. In fact, some of them, both men and women, you talk about the dad bod, women should think about the same thing about themselves, how they let themselves go. Once they get married, they go, man, I've reeled this guy in. I'm set.
Reeled this guy in.
Yeah. When they're young, they're working out, they're looking sexy, they wanting to go out and party, and then they get married, and it's like.
And what happens after they get divorced?
Yeah, they start partying again.
No, they start losing weight and working out. And
No,
make
usually,
themselves look
no,
better.
that's
That's right.
not what we do.
No?
What we usually do is the moment we smell her on you, we start losing that weight and looking better.
No, that's right.
Facts.
Smell her on you.
Yeah,
You think we don't?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
and
You
I
think that you think that you can actually go have sex with a woman and shower and the smell is gone? It's on the clothes we watch. It's on your body still. You've introduced her DNA to you. And we can tell. Yeah.
Can you taste it though?
Well, I haven't.
I'm not going
I'm
there.
not going to answer that.
All right. That's a big one, and that goes both ways.
Well,
So men do this too. They let themselves go once
Yes.
they get married. Some of them
Yes.
let themselves go before that, but as having done probably hundreds, maybe 1,000 divorces in 35 years, I see it frequently that they just let themselves go. And because I'm a counselor also, I'm not just a lawyer, I'm a lawyer and counselor. And I try to get people to stay together as much as I do divorces. And by staying together, I counsel them to say, beef it up, start work out a little bit more, be more attractive to your spouse. And that goes both ways. I'm not just saying for men or women. It's both. Let themselves go way too often. And forget about treating their spouse like they're still the girlfriend or the boyfriend they dated.
Well, do you think, Jesse, answer this, do you think that once you've dropped the ball and you had an affair, okay, let's hypothetically say that, hypothetically, you've done that, and she knows, okay, do you think it's possible to get that spark back?
Oh, yeah. It's been done.
Is this experience you have?
I plead the fifth. But
I'm sure you do.
When you're in
I
your
think
40s,
it's tougher for men to get it back because men's egos are more than women's, where it's harder for them to accept that the wife has had an
the wife
affair.
could go have an affair.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I wasn't saying the wife could go have an affair.
You think she wouldn't?
I'm not saying that, but what happens with men in their 40s is they reach that age where they don't know if they're still attractive to other women.
Right.
And they need to go out and experience that and find out if they are still attractive to other women. And they'll go out and they'll have an affair, call it an affair, what have you, and then they'll come back to their wives realizing that they still have it in a certain percentage of cases.
I'd like to think that men go out and have affairs so that they go back to their wives and they know they got it good with their wives because the wife is much better at it than the girl they go out. At least that's what I stay with.
Yeah.
Is that what you stay with because it's safe to say that to a woman?
Well, it's the best excuse I could come up with.
There we go. The male
Excuses.
excuse again. Again.
I didn't say anything about excuses. Did I?
The only reason you go out with some other woman is to compare.
Tell me something. Why do young men, say between 20 and 25, usually, or maybe I've seen it up to 27, want to sleep with women in their 40s if the woman has kept herself pretty, fit, and exciting? What's that all about?
Well, typically it's just a matter of convenience, I think.
Convenience.
Yeah.
What? Explain.
The opportunity presents itself.
From the woman coming on to you? Or
A young man is not going to turn anything down.
is that because they're at their peak sexual at 25? 20, 25?
Yes, yeah.
Jim?
I think that's probably true. Maybe not for that reason, but because guys are usually, most of the time when they get laid, they're thinking, man, this might be the last time I ever get laid. We're never sure. The woman is usually the one who makes the choice of whether to do it or not. Most guys want to do it.
They write songs about closing time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Amel wrote that song.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Of course.
And I've been in plenty of places at closing time.
A 2 at 10 and a 10 at 2. Isn't that it?
Well, let's change the subject and let's focus on a man now. Why do you think men are attracted to women between, I'd say, 18 and 30, more so than the woman they're married to, which caused them to go have the affair?
You want my opinion?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's undeniable that younger women's bodies look more attractive than
course.
older women's.
Of course.
A fit, attractive older woman to me is just as appealing as a younger attractive woman. The fact is, though, the percentage of that is much greater of being young and fit and attractive in younger women than it is in older women, because older women just don't, they age. But men are attracted to younger women because they still like that younger look.
So, but women are expected to be attracted to their older husbands until the end of time.
That's because they're not shallow like men are.
There you have it. Do you agree?
I'm not listening.
Men are shallow. I mean, in that department, women are just better people than men.
I agree. We are. We're compassionate, loving.
Well, I didn't say all that, but
I am.
They can get rather hateful.
Women?
yeah.
Well, that's the problem with men 40 and older, 50 and older, 60 and older. The problem is women 20 to 30, our number one focus is to get our man to pay attention to us at that age. So what do? We start some drama.
Put a pole in the bedroom?
No, you didn't. No.
Bipolar in the bedroom, is that what he said?
Yeah, he did.
Bipolar.
No,
not bipolar. Strip pole in the bedroom.
Strip pole.
Did you ever wonder why younger women, always are so dramatic?
I don't think that stops at any particular age.
Well,
but they are definitely
I'm
more
not dramatic.
I'm not dramatic.
No, of course not.
I'm not.
I think probably just inexperience. I've never thought about it, but I would think that they have not had the life experience that older women have had. So it's all still kind of everything.
See, that's a man
Everything's
thing.
the end of the world to the younger woman.
Exactly. That's the thing. But that's not what.
Talking to younger women can be exhausting.
Why?
Well, because of their thought process and their values and what have you. They just, I don't know. They want to talk about crazy things that don't really bother us or we don't care about.
That's the point. You don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, you pretend to care.
Yeah, we can pretend to care.
That's how you get them back in the bedroom. Right. Okay.
Here, I want to show you this painting back in my room. Yeah, whatever.
Tell me why older men funnel so much money into younger women. Jim?
We got to spend it on something.
Because they have more, and
True.
so I would think if a younger man had the money, he would also funnel it into younger women. But
I think they do it.
probably the question should be, why do men in general funnel money and objects to women? I think it's because the women want us to.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the question should be, why do women want men to do that?
Because it lets us know that you are thinking about us all the time.
Wait a minute. So a woman wants me to buy her stuff.
Yes, it tells us he cares. I told him I wanted this. He cares enough to get that for me. It satisfies us or her for a while. Like the new clothes, the new car, the new house, the new kitchen, the new living room suit, the new bedroom suit.
Well, that's just
The new
messed
walk-in
up.
closet.
The new walk-in closet. Exactly.
That's messed up.
It's not messed up.
It is. I would think, a kiss on the neck or doing something nice for her, take her out on a picnic, not buy me a house.
Yes, but then listen,
Much
if
later.
you're 40 and you want that 25 to 35-year-old wife to start having your children, she's going to want that house and that SUV to take the kids back and forth to school, to the doctors, to do everything that they have and not worry about things like that.
Well, they can get that after they reel them in.
Oh,
when
now
they get
we're
married. Yeah.
So now you think we reel you in
Yeah.
with what?
Good looks, sex.
Attention.
Sex.
Yeah, sure.
Attention.
Attention,
That's it.
yeah.
The ego, feeding the ego.
Sure.
Feeding the ego.
Absolutely.
Well, don't point at me when you say that. That's the
Feeding that
women's
ego.
problem, not mine. Everybody's got an ego, but
A certain skill
women
set.
use that skill to reel them in.
Maybe.
Those skill sets.
Once they get married, then they got what they want.
Wait, what? Jesse?
I don't. Was I
Did you
saying
just say
something?
the skill set is important?
Yeah.
What skill set?
Well, if I have to go into that, then we're talking to the wrong audience.
We're talking to men and women,
Well, yeah.
20 and older.
Skill set.
Like what?
Well, you got
Explain.
You have to learn somewhere.
And the man teaches the woman the skill set.
Sometimes, yeah.
Where else does a woman? Does she watch porn movies and learns the skill Practices on bananas. What do you think, Diane?
First of all, we don't practice on bananas and cucumbers.
That's
That is
not.
a
That's
myth.
in several of the videos I've seen.
Yeah,
That's on
Instructional
Pornhub.
videos.
Is that what you're saying?
Instructional videos, yeah.
Instructional videos. I don't
On
watch.
Pornhub.
I don't know. I've just heard this.
Well, where did you see the video then?
I just heard that's what women do.
Who's
on,
telling you this?
women.
Other women?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. What do you think? Pornhub?
XNXX, X videos, BEEG, Pornhub. They're
Oh, your
several
laundry
out there.
list over here.
He knows his porn.
But, yeah.
Okay. See, women just use.
Romance novels. You could always, with
Yeah,
with
they
women-
wrap them up. They get the paperback so they can roll them into
Oh God!
another
You
type
really
of
believe
object.
that?
Of course, I've seen it. Yeah,
That's
I think that women. Here's the problem with porn, in my opinion. Women look at porn, and they're either looking at a guy, that is some size that nobody can even handle. Number one, or bisexual stuff to see if they're missing anything or if they could learn something. Facts. Men,
don't they have parties for that?
we did back in the
They don't do that
80s.
still.
No. At one time, I had a bachelorette party where we taught a lot of stuff.
Brought gifts.
were those Tupperware
yeah.
parties? Is that what those were?
No, it was bachelorette parties. Yeah, in the 80s. That's how I reeled in Frank.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Let's hear about that.
No. No. Mm-mm. No.
Next subject.
Next subject.
Oh,
Okay. So, just to wrap this up, instinctually, men, the reason they want to have a younger wife is to bear children. They look good, they're fit, energetic.
trophy.
I didn't throw in trophy.
I know you didn't.
I think
Men
that's why
like
some men
trophies.
get a younger woman
Is
to
your
have a
wife
trophy
younger
one.
than you?
Yeah, she's 17 years younger than me.
Oh, God. And yours was, and your last,
Let's not go there.
how much
Yeah.
older are you than her?
I was 24 years.
Wow, guys. Wow.
And
So
and
women my age would never have a chance with you two.
Kim,
Oh, I disagree with
Kim
that.
seduced
Hold
me.
on, Jesse.
What?
Because look, it doesn't matter what what their age is. If they're fit and have a good, the main thing is they have to have good. How do I put this? An older woman thinks in an older way many times. They're not thinking about going out having fun, having a good time, stuff like. They're thinking like, and I'm not saying this is bad or good. It's just that I think that's how it is.
You didn't really answer that. You just said, I think they're thinking about it, thinking of that. And you
I
didn't
know.
answer.
Well, I'm thinking about being a politician.
Oh, now you're going to run for office?
Well, I'm practicing how I answer questions,
Okay.
just in case I do.
so women get married,
Right,
have children.
right.
Before you get married, you go out to eat dinner, you go out dancing, you go to concerts, you do things. You go out and enjoy life. Then you have children, and then, not in all cases, but then the woman wants to stay home and take care of the kids. She doesn't want to go out.
We're
She doesn't want to get a
that's
babysitter.
instinct to us.
But the man still wants to go out and do those things.
Then
And the
man-
problem there
no,
is
the
the
man-
woman's all stretched out from, she's put on weight from having
all
a child.
stretched out from what? Having a child?
Having a
Having
chi-
your child?
Well, yeah. I'm saying this is
Wow.
not. Well,
Wow, that's
I'm
kinda-
trying to support women here.
Is
So-
that what we call what we're doing right now?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay,
if,
let me
if
hear
I
this
can finish what I'm
nonsense.
saying. And then men start looking at them differently because they're not as attractive when they're all, stretched out from having put on some weight from having had a child. And that's one of the reasons they go out looking for other women, I think, is because the wife is not quite as attractive and does not want to, as Jesse's pointed out, wants to maybe stay home and take care of the kids, things like that.
But doesn't the man want the woman taking care of those children?
Yeah, but it's important to have your relationship with your spouse, I'll say at this point. My daughter told me the other day she had to take a night off because she wanted to go on a date night with her husband, which I think that's great. I
do
think
too.
more couples need to do that.
Absolutely. But when we started this whole conversation, we were talking about men who go out and cheat, therefore causing the woman to feel insecure, unloved, all that. When why did the man, after the women have their children, pour a bunch of money into making sure she looks fantastic? Personal trainers, a facelift if she needs it, or whatever.
Because it's cheaper than divorcing her. Just try to make her look better.
But they don't. They go out and cheat.
Well, that's
Yeah,
because
see, you
that's
just
so
admitted
they
it.
yeah, so they can
Oh, no,
compare.
you're
So they go back to the
What
wife and say
percentage?
this one she was nowhere near as good as you are. So that's why I want to stick with you. I just wanted to test it to see if my theory
And-
was right that no one's better than you.
Hold on.
No
What
one is better than
percentage-
you.
What percentage of women and men cheat?
I would say 70% of the men cheat
70%.
Wow.
Wow.
and 30% of the
She
women.
doesn't know what she's talking about.
That's a little bit high.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I think
I
she's a
guess.
little bit high.
Look at Jesse's eyes.
Hey, that's dry eye syndrome. I just had
Okay.
cataract surgery. You can talk all you want to. I've had red eyes my whole life.
Yeah, I'm wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
We know. We know. I can only
She's-
imagine what was going on the ride over here.
What?
What are you talking about? That was a cigar.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, War Eagle.
War Eagle. That's right.
Oh, God.
And Roll Tide. And go Dogs.
Go Blazers.
Go Sanford Bulldogs. All right, Diane. Next topic. You got any more?
Well, yeah.
Lay it on me. Go ahead.
Well,
Lay
what
it
I
on
want
me.
to know, what I want to say is it's instinct to men and women for a man actually to provide for his family and his children. That's instinct. The same with a woman.
I would disagree with that.
No, it's instinctual, I promise.
To take care of their woman and their
Take
children.
care of their family.
Their
And
family,
yeah. They from the time they're about, I'd say 30 to 40, 45, they start settling down, make sure they're making enough money because they do want that child. Men want an heir, period.
Oh, yeah.
Most. I
But
would
they-
say
but they don't-
90% of them.
But they don't take care of the woman. They just want an heir, or maybe they just want to get laid, and they have an heir because of it. But take care of the woman. No, I handle
what?
many cases where the guy has had 3 or 4 kids with 3 or 4 different women, and he doesn't take care of any of them, and doesn't take care of the women.
Is that the norm, you think?
I see it quite a bit.
I don't think that's the norm.
Well,
The youth of
have you been
today.
doing divorce
It-
law for 35 years in family court?
No, but you have. And I understand that, but that's not the majority of men in.
Well, let's ask Jim this. What's the difference now versus 30 years ago
Yeah.
Difference in what?
in the way these people are behaving?
None.
None?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you're talking about the age group, of course, 30 years ago they were 30 years younger, but I don't think that's what you mean.
No, I'm just talking about in general.
I think
these divorces.
today men and women act exactly the way. No, I take that back. I think probably in a different era, not in my era, not since I've been practicing, but back in my parents' era, you got married and it was for life.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I think society has a big thing to do with
yeah,
it. Back in the 50s
that's
and 60s.
changed. In fact,
Yes.
more than 50% of
Well, you didn't have men
families
going out-
never get married.
You didn't have men having 3 or 4 children with 3 or 4 different women like you do now.
No, you don't.
I don't believe that. I mean, I think that's true.
Oh, you think men
society,
didn't mess
as
around
Diane
back
said-
then? Yes, they did. Yes.
Well, there was mess. I don't think it's as high as it is now.
No, and a lot of that is social pressure. Like back in the day, if a woman slept around, she was a hoe, period.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was hard on girls in high school, middle school, and high school, and stuff like that. But today, the media pushes it out there that every girl should be a hoe to every guy. It's horrible, don't you think?
I
And
think
who's
they're
preaching
expressing
that? The
themselves
media?
what they really are.
Like in pop music, rap,
yeah.
all that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff. It's just and
And social media.
social media.
And I don't think
Well-
whore is the hoe is the word to use.
What?
I think women are becoming more liberated now. I think they've always had those feelings and urges. Now they're allowed to express them more.
So
No, they shouldn't,
Why not?
because you shouldn't be mixing that much DNA with everybody.
Well, if a woman wants to go out and just get laid, why
That's just a man
why is that
thinking about that.
unacceptable? But it's acceptable for a man.
this week I heard that 2% of the women getting married now are virgins. 2%.
2%.
2%.
It's because of everything
kinda
that's
high.
pushed
Yeah.
out. That's kind of high. No. And that's sad.
Well, let's look at England. for
Maybe
instance.
2% of the girls in high school, but
No, I'm just talking about getting married. They said
Yeah, I
now
get it.
only
I get it.
2%. So in England, when I lived over in Europe, it's very common in England for the women to have a lover and the men to have mistresses. And they'd like one day a week or one night a week, they would go and see their mistress or go take them out to eat or do whatever they do, and vice versa with the women. And it was just one person. And sometimes they'd be with them for like Prince Charles. You know, you have these relationships that are just as long as their
He might
marriages
not
are.
be the example we
Well,
look
but-
at.
Well, you know, I'm not, yeah. But I found it very interesting that it's so common in England versus here in the United States. We don't do that.
Back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, yes, men did have that Friday night mistress. I mean, no, Friday night they took their wives out.
Saturday
night
night.
they had
Yeah,
that
Saturday
mistress.
night, yeah, that-
Yes, they did. That's archaic.
But it's not
Yeah.
done like that anymore, or as much, I don't think.
now the women do the same thing.
Yeah, I too. Well, the women
What?
been there.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What, that women go out more than they used to, and
No, they do. Yes, they do. But what I'm saying, are we talking about married women? Have what?
I
Have
think women
go
are
out
just
with their
more
husbands
open
on
to,
Friday night, and then they go out like the man goes out with a fly-by-night girl on Saturday night, and the woman goes out with a loose boy.
See, fly by night. I just don't like that type of terminology. Ho, fly by night woman.
Well, what?
They're
well,
just expressing
do you-
themselves
No. Okay.
as they should have been able to do 30 years ago.
Okay. So
Do you think there's something wrong with a woman who has multiple partners?
I think there is a
so
lot
we
wrong
still
with a
on the-
woman that wants to date a married man.
Are we
Yes, I
still
do.
on
All right, what
Yes.
about a woman who just wants to have multiple partners and she's single?
Well, then that terminology has been etched in stone for
So do you
thousands
think
of
there's
years.
something wrong with that?
Yes.
With that woman, you'd call her a hoe and fly by night.
I wouldn't call
loose
her a hoe
morals.
to her face. I would say loose morals, and I would wonder why she feels like she has to do that.
Why is it loose morals for a woman
Insecurity.
but not for a man to do
Because we have different sexual urges than men do.
that? Do we?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know that I agree with that. Why do women have
Ex-
different sexual urges than men?
Because women want to be loved.
And
Men always their
That's
next
not
conquest.
what's love got to do with it. I don't know if
No, you
That
didn't.
sounds like a song.
it does.
I wonder if it was one of my favorite. I don't think so. I think that women need that respect and love from a man, and I think men.
I thought we were talking about sexual urges.
We are,
Okay.
but it's very hard for women to separate sex and love. It's very intimate to women because you're going.
In.
Going what?
You said it. What was that, Jesse?
In.
And men are just doing what they're doing.
Okay.
It is important to a woman because when you invade something, it's personal.
Invade.
So a
I
woman.
don't know another word.
That'll get you put in jail.
Oh God!
So women shouldn't get horny. Just get horny.
I didn't
like men
say
do?
women shouldn't get horny. Women get horny all the time.
Okay,
but they would
but
prefer.
they shouldn't act on it.
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
they would prefer.
They should be in love before they get
They
horny.
would prefer to be with a man they're in love with,
But if they can't,
in my opinion.
Well, I mean, as a man, no, I'll just speak for myself because I'm actually a lesbian.
There you go.
I think it's better if the woman, if I'm in love or care for the woman or even like the woman, as opposed to just going out and picking somebody up at a bar or something. I think it's a little bit more meaningful and I enjoy it more
Then why do men pick up women at a bar?
because I also enjoy just getting laid.
See, that's the difference. We don't need to
why
always.
are the women out there in the bars
Ah.
letting
It's
the men pick
usually
them
the
up?
young
Yeah, they
women
can get
it.
looking
They're just as
for
Because they're
that
hoping it'll be
husband.
romantic.
Because they're playing all those love songs in those bars.
And how often do women chase married men? And why do they chase married
And some think
I
married
don't
men
think
are
they
more
do.
attractive.
I think men, listen, in the workplace especially, older men, like in their 40s and older, they start looking at those young secretaries and anything else that walks in the door, and they throw off this energy that the woman picks up on and says, oh, this is flattering. No one else is paying attention to me.
But how many times do those women think that I can steal that man and get all that, have all
Is that
those
what
things
you
in
think
his life?
women think?
I know they do. Not always.
You're
But
probably right.
I've seen it happen.
No, I've seen it.
When I was over working and living in Europe, and we made a lot of money over there.
Okay.
All the guys, the young single guys that I hired and brought over there to work for me, and the married ones, found these German women, very attractive German women, that they were coming on to them. And these guys weren't anything special, but they couldn't understand. But see, that what they didn't realize was they had the green card potential. They had money. They were a ticket out of Germany for those girls, you know, and so that they came on to them. I had a guy that worked for me, he was married, and he ended up with these German girls coming on to him, and he didn't know how to handle it. The next thing you know, his wife shows up with his kids, and he tells her he wants the girlfriend to live with him in one big happy family, and she got back on the airplane and came back to the States. Yeah, she wasn't having it.
Well, then
But,
she should have just moved to Utah.
Yeah, well, he should have moved to Utah.
He
not
should
her.
have. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
So I think some of the big difference between men and women in this area is that one, men are more visually stimulated than women, and they get aroused quicker than women do.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do
So-
absolutely believe that.
So I think that has something to do with why men are the way they are and women are the way they are. Women, I think, are stimulated. They're slower burn. You know, they get up to heat a little bit slower than men do. And they're also looking for, a lot of them looking for romance, but more and more, I think they're looking for a good time.
Well, I think you're wrong on that. I
Well-
do. I think they're looking for someone to be true to them, love them, respect them, and show them all the attention that they need, which is not a 24-hour job. I know some men think it is. I mean, I think some men, in my opinion, get to the point in a long-term relationship that that they're just taking care of a woman that goes back to the old profession, the oldest profession, and they get pissy about it. Like, I'm taking care of the house, I'm taking care of the car payments of the 3 teenagers and my wife and mine and the insurance and all the bills and stuff. And then they'll make a sarcastic comment to a guy. I mean, to the man will make the sarcastic comment to the wife, and then the wife is going to get defensive, okay? And she's going to start saying, okay, well, I work a full-time job, like in today's society, and I take care of the kids, and I'm raising the kids. Basically, she's going to feel like she's raising the kids on her own. She's taking them to all the games, all the practices, making sure they're clothed, fed, feeding the whole family, cleaning the house, and going to work full-time. And
And that's more innate for a woman.
I didn't say it wasn't. What I'm
Women
saying
got a
is,
bad deal.
Yes, I didn't say it wasn't, but I'm saying then the man and then the woman thinks, well, all you're doing is going to work, messing around on me, and 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 divorce lawyer want a divorce so you can spend all your time with your new hotsy-totsy girlfriend, right?
I think we need to talk percentages.
Yeah.
Well, what are the percentages you think?
Lower than you do, I think.
I don't believe it. Jim,
Okay, well.
you're the divorce attorney, so tell us. Who
Well,
does more of the
what-
cheating, men
what-
or women?
Yeah, what causes the divorces?
No, let's answer that question first. Who does more of the cheating?
I think more often it's the man. But
Bingo!
that's because of that lower threshold I was talking about. We get turned on sooner and we're visually stimulated.
The wind's
And
blowing.
women are more loyal. I mean, women are much better people than men are, in my opinion. And
I agree.
yeah, and they really got a crappy deal because they're nurturing, they're loving, and then they got to have kids. A lot of women go, "Oh, that's our blessing, is we get to have the kids." I don't know of any. I mean, it is a blessing. I think it
Yeah.
creates a closeness, but look at what it does to their body.
Right, but instinctually we need to have children. That's in our instinct. DNA instinct is to procreate and have children and raise them.
Yeah.
Men just dump it all out wherever they want to put it. There it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Men don't
Yes.
quite have that instinct.
The nurturing instinct?
That's right. Or raising kids.
I don't know.
You don't?
We raise kids. We help.
I didn't say you didn't help. Yes, men help by furnishing the finances to get the cars, the clothes, the designer, this, that, and the other for their teenage sons and daughters. And yes, I do.
And spending time with
They,
the kids.
they take
And
the sons
spend-
hunting and do things with their daughters and go to the football practices and baseball practices and basketball practices and karate and tennis ad nauseum.
I think
Having
I
raised
think
two
I
children that were
spent
very
as much
active.
time with my kids as my wife did.
Yeah. But I guess we're supposed to be the exception as opposed to the
I would
norm?
think that is the exception to the rule.
Oh.
I would tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I think so. I think women today, back in the 1930s or whatever, when they were pushing for equal rights, didn't think it through.
No, women
No,
have
they
really
did
screwed
not.
the pooch for themselves, in my opinion. They had
Yes,
it really good.
Really good. Really good.
And now, look at them now. I mean, they, as you pointed out, they're looking for a guy that's going to open the door and be a gentleman. You don't see that so much anymore.
No, you
And
don't.
women have caused that for themselves in many ways.
Yes.
They have to, they
And the
have to
media.
make themselves up. They got to exercise. They got to have fancy clothes and all that. Men, we've been smarter in that area because, like, for example, we can have a scraggly beard, and the scraggly beard is now the cool thing to have for men.
Yeah, well, a woman can't go through all that.
No, most of them don't have scraggly beards, but they got.
Thank God.
But women, the men, they've been smarter about that. Women have really screwed the pooch.
Are you trying to say that men are smarter than women?
in that area? Yes, women. They control the world, so they're certainly better people. I will end that with that statement, and I've said it now a few times. They're better human beings than men, in my opinion.
Who's he saying that for?
I'm saying that in support of all the women and lesbians out there.
I'm not going to answer that question.
That's great.
All
Okay,
right, so
that
we're-
was the first point. We're still on the first one.
No, we're done for
All right.
today. We're
We are?
done. Yeah,
Good.
Oh, wow.
Record time.
record time.
This is the inaugural podcast, right?
It is. It is.
All right. Looking
Well-
forward to the
I'm
feedback.
Very interested to see how many people want to listen to this mess.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be plenty.
Oh, sure.
Do you?
I know so,
Okay.
Okay.
especially if we advertise it right.
All right.
Right, Ken?
Well, Diane, thanks for having me on. Don't know how long I'll be doing this
He's being
because I'm semi-recovering. Once I'm fully recovered, I may
But men, as you pointed
off.
out halfway through our conversation today, have great egos. So I'm not confused y'all to be here.
You're not what? I missed that.
Yeah, that was egos in
was
the
garbled.
sex department. Yeah.
Over.
Well, listeners, that's all the time we have for today's irrelevant nonsense. Remember, age is just a number. Join us next time for another dose of humor and wisdom. Until then, keep smiling.